job's a good one. Okay, this was going to be a recorded show tonight. We were going to just record it and whack it up on tomorrow, Wednesday evening, because that's when our regular chats are supposed to be hosted. But we thought because Spud is here, we're going to do a Spud special. So it's going to go up live today, and anybody who wants to join the chat can ask any questions they want and we can answer them as well. So to begin with, we're going to go through who is here, and we have Phil, who is always here because he is the winged man of Wargamer Online.
Hello.
And his internet is amazing today. Look at this. Oh, crystal. Perfect. Crystal clear.
Shiny.
Shiny. So we have Rachel again. Rachel has finished her travels around Europe for at least a few more weeks, so she's joining us tonight.
Hi everyone.
And we have the Wargamer Viking, Mr. Spud.
Hey up everybody.
Okay, so we've got two people in the chat so far. We've got Underdog Painting. Hey, hope you guys are well. And Elster Nation. Hello to both of you. And Without a Clue Wargaming. Hello, everyone. So thanks for joining us so soon after this random spur of the moment thing. We're going to go straight on to... actually, do you guys want to do a question first, or shall we go through models of the week?
Let's do models of the week, Sam.
Models of the week. Okay, we'll start with that one. Right, so this is something we started last week. I utterly failed in terms of doing a slideshow, and this week we've just picked images. So we've all chosen a model that we've basically like the most, and this is off the Wargamer Online community Facebook group. So I've made a pinned post on there, and a bunch of you guys have done linked up your favourite models, or you have your own stuff, and the theme this week was sci-fi, so it could range from anything. It could be Warhammer 40k, or it could be Warlord Games models, anything. And we will start with Rachel's choice, because Rachel couldn't decide. She's done two, which was not the rules, but you know, Rachel doesn't play by the rules.
Fine.
So the first one we have this one, which is John Moggy McGee's Night Lord Land Speeders, and I believe they're the 30k Heresy models, which I haven't seen that often.
Yeah, so I love these. I thought they were like a really cool paint job. Just really tidy. Love the little sort of lightning bit on the front as well. So yeah, no, I thought they were one of the best painted out of the stuff I saw. Not that I know anything about painting, but they look cool, so I went with that.
Good stuff. So well done to those. We'll go on to Spud's choice, which was... oh god, I've lost it. Jez Allam's Warlord Games C3M4 Combat Drone. I think I got that right.
Yeah, I really liked it. Really hard because, like I was saying before, like I know most of the people that posted, so I just didn't want to traitor anybody. But I had to choose just one. And I went for that one because I thought it was just different to like your normal 40k, 30k thing. So I just went for that really.
It's a really nice model and a clean paint job. There was like all of the stuff that was posted was great, and it was quite nice. The first week, I kind of forced everybody just to post something up. The second week, there was loads of people just chucking models up, and it was great to see. So that one's a really nice one as well. What have we got after that? We'll go on to Phil's. This is Craig Dolan's Orc. What is it, Phil?
Warwick.
It's not got your camera. You're going to have to do that again. I'm going to remove the picture so you can see. Go on, Phil. Do it again. What is it?
I don't know about Warwick.
So we took that one back up again. Really cool. I mean, it looks like a major conversion. Craig does a bunch of scratch building projects on his channel, and I'll stick the link down below. It's Kiblams. It's awesome stuff. He's been doing a bunch of modular mech buildings at the moment, which are really cool, but this is his war rig that Phil loves so much and is awesome. And then the one I've picked, and it was between two, but Rachel got a second choice, so this one's the one that I picked, and this is from Dan Lavin. This is his Demon Host model, and he's done some painting to it since, but this was before, and I just love the conversion. It's such a nice little job that he's done on it, and it reminded me of a mix between Venom and a Deadpool mixed with a Demon Host, so I picked that one. I really liked it. And then last of all, we have Rachel's second choice, which is from Mr. Cragum Gaming, and this is the Traitor Celestine. And he's done a video on this, and it's a pretty nice paint job, isn't it, Rach?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the actual conversion of it all because I've seen the model as it should be, but then when you stick the extra sort of demonic wings in, I just love how he sort of made this sort of angel-looking thing into some kind of like twisted demon, and you've got all the like green sort of slimy stuff coming out as well. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a really good job.
Really good. Cool. And he's done the two Gemini models that go with it. They're converted, and it's just an awesome paint job and conversion. Really good job on that one. So that was the models we've all picked. I'll pick another theme, or we'll get somebody to pick a theme for next week. If you're not already on the Facebook page, join it, and you can join in and post up your own stuff, and we'll do the same next week. So thanks for everyone for doing that one. Just going to have a look through the chat, see what else we've got, because there's a few more people chatting today. We have Dance Macabre, who says that's my demon host. Yes, it was a very nice demon host. It was awesome. Underdog Painting, I'm good. Just done my workout. Very good. Joining the Viking on that one then.
Yes.
Working out. With Artically Wargaming, Moggy's stuff is always great. Wargamers Consortium, hi all, hello. Basic
Hello.
Miniature Painting, hello. Wargamer Viking, boys.
Yeah,
You had to creep that one in there, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I did listen to it earlier as well, but then I always forget. It's
You can do it now, go on.
hey up, boys!
It's Spud special.
Can I do a oosh?
Awesome. Okay, we're going to the first question, which I'm not prepared for again. So we're going to do which 40k faction would you join, and what would you do? So if you were part of that faction, what job do you think you would end up being, having, or what do you think you'd end up doing? So we're going to start with I don't know. Go on, Rach. You look really unsure. We're going to start with you. You're like, please don't pick me. Please don't pick me.
I've already seen these questions, and before the chat, I said to Sam, "Can I just go with like the only one that I know?" And it's like, just go online, just go on the Games Workshop page, and see which one you like the looks of. So I was like, Space Wolves, because they've got wolves in them, and that's going to have to be my choice. And I'd totally just be the person that's like sat like feeding and like petting all the wolves whilst all the guys are like getting ready for battle. And I'm just like, it's okay, puppies, it's okay. And that's it.
So you would be in the Space Wolf faction, and you would be a wolf handler.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I
I'd
think
probably
wolf
get
handler is a
eaten
bit of an
within the
extreme
first
term
week.
there, isn't it? It's more of like a wolf petter. Just like raising a little wolf pups.
Yeah, Rachel, can you go
do
and
it.
clean out the wolf pen? Nah, I'm only here to pet them. Somebody else is here to pet, like, do the actual
Yeah,
work.
no cleaning whatsoever. Don't do that.
There is a valid point here, though. You know, the wolves do need training, don't they? I mean, somebody's got to do that job. You know, like, puppy class and all the rest.
I don't think they
Yeah.
care about that. They just let them run around and do what they want, and no one's going to argue with the wolf.
Yeah, given how I am with our dog, I don't think I'd be the best trainer either. She can't go on the bed. Oh, she's fine. She looks so cute.
Full metal jacket. I don't know. Ever try to calm down a 1-ton bull terrier?
Yeah, okay. It's got a point, doesn't it, really?
Brilliant. Okay, Spud. What faction would you be in, and what would you do?
Well, Rachel stole my idea, so
Damn it. Sorry.
that job's already gone as chief petterer. I don't know. Now I was generally going to pick Space Wolves, but I was like, well, I don't really know. Like, obviously, I just like to just run around and kill everything. But that's just generally just in that kind of in the 40k universe, isn't it? I'd like to be probably a dreadnought. I think it would not the ones that you could trip up and it never gets back up again. A Contemptor dreadnought would be so sick. But obviously that means I have to die first. But I think it'd be quite cool because it means I get to die first and then get put in a massive armor thing and just run around and hit things.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd like a Thunderhammer though. That'd be pretty cool, like a giant Thunderhammer instead of a giant sword.
Would that be the only part of the deal? Like, I'll die first. Like, don't worry, guys. I'll die. I'll become a dreadnought, but you've got to give me my Thunderhammer, otherwise this isn't going to happen.
Yeah, exactly like that. I think you've got to try to keep as much as the beard as possible.
Which faction would it be? Would it be Space Wolves as well then?
Oh, I don't know. I've got a real soft spot for Crimson Fists, even though they're wanting the heresy.
You can pick anything.
I'd love to. Yeah. I think I go for. I don't know. This is well difficult. Imperial Fists. I've got a soft spot for them as well. They're quite like defensive, and that's kind of my play style. I'm not very. I'm quite passive, so I think I go for Imperial Fists. It depends what day I woke up on. I think Monday be more of a Space Wolf, and then the further in the week, if it were a Friday, I'd literally be just like the most laid back Imperial Fist ever. Like, yeah, just do it. I'm not even bothered.
Chaos
Everything.
Invasion.
We've got a suggestion that it's named a Spud Naught, which I think is an awesome idea. And I think I might have to model one for you, Spud. I'm seeing, you know, the new faction, the new dwarves with the full metal outfits. I'm just seeing a dreadnought with like a steel beard, you know, the bottom, and a set of headphones on it or something like that. I think that'd work.
You did a quality sculpt of the Spud, well, the Viking model last week, didn't you, on Chilling Wargamers? You know, sculpting level 1000. You could just replicate that.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go.
Well, what would you be, Phil?
Me?
Have you already designed your model of yourself?
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah, I'd be. Yeah, I've half changed my mind. You know, I'd like to be a leader of a hive city gang. I think so. I'd be. That's, I suppose, a human faction, then, isn't it?
Hmm.
But I quite like. I'm getting into that sort of necromancer kind of stuff. I quite like the idea of my own gang, preferably with beards, hanging around underneath a hive city, like getting hold of, you know, beer and sitting in a bar, maybe. That's not. That doesn't really class. What I basically done is describe what I want to do this weekend.
Yeah, I would say that sounds quite familiar, to be honest. It's not just like join the gang, go to bar. Yes.
Oh, okay, then I'll do a proper one. Yeah, it's gotta be Eldar. That's my favourite faction, so I'd have to be. And I think Autarch, because they're just badass. So I'd want to be an Autarch in it. That's the Farseer, that's okay, all the psychic stuff, but that looks like a lot of thinking. You know, they spend a lot of time, shall we do this, shan't we do this?
That's perfect for
We go
you.
left, then we go right. Autarch, they're just like, yeah, pretty much had a go at everything, become experts in everything, and then they just stamp around the galaxy, impatient, not listening to advice. So I think that pretty much sums me up, really. So I'll be an Autarch. I would attack Terror. That's what I would do.
Elstonations put it would have to be a dreadnought that could eat chicken for Spud, and a gang of Chuck Norrises. I physically have chills, which is, I mean, that's it. You just be yourself. Like you make your own faction.
Yeah, it's sort of, yeah, could do, couldn't it? Hive, Hive Fleet. There's another one as well. Hive Fleet Chuck Norris.
Ingesting the galaxy.
Yeah, but you know Chuck Norris would ingest the Hive Fleet, wouldn't he?
Yeah. In the dark, what is it? In the grim dark future. What was I saying?
There is only
Like
Norris.
There is only Norris.
We've also got the Wargamers Consortium. Great video, guys. Gonna shout you guys out on my Facebook page. Cheers for that. And what else have we got? Basic miniature painting would be a Crimson Fist Apothecary, and without a clue, Wargaming would be an Inquisitor. Oh, you stole my thing. You stole it. Why did I read that out?
There's more than one Inquisitor. What would you like to be, Sam?
An Inquisitor by any chance?
There's two that I would like to be, and one is a bit weird because I'm not a fan of. You know what? I love Tau. I always take the mick out of Tau for being fish, but I think I would settle down perfectly fine. Somebody would say to me, "Oh, it's for the greater good." Yeah, I can get along with that. And you don't have to be a fish. You could be a human and be in like an auxiliary and join their ranks. And they'll give you a pulse rifle and, you know, maybe even a battle suit if you do really well. And you can just run around and kill stuff. So I think I would potentially be in the Tau Empire. You know, there's Kroot. They've got Kroot hounds. You could go for a ride on a Kroot hound.
Oh, Sam, you've well
Kroot
thought
ox.
about this, mate.
I
We
had
all went
t-
for boring Space Marines, and you just gone to the next level.
I've thought about actually living among the Tau Empire, so that's, not petting wolves. Although that sounds awesome, Rachel.
I know, right?
Definitely. I think I made the wrong choice. I'll just join you. So that's that topic down. So let's go on to how do you balance your hobby with other commitments, which is quite a difficult one for a lot of people because
I know,
there's
it's
a lot.
tough.
I'm not going to start with Rachel because I know she's going to have to think about this one. So we're going to go to Phil. How do you balance your hobby?
I think it helps if you suffer from insomnia. That's useful.
Yeah.
Because I can save probably 6 hours a day on most people. So that helps with the balance. You have to. I think you just sometimes have to put the paintbrushes down and walk away a bit anyway, don't you? Otherwise, you lose the mojo. So there is a kind of a self-maintaining bit that if you put too much into it, it just all starts to fizzle away, and you start to hate it. It starts to become a task rather than something you enjoy. So I think it's just keep an eye on how much you're doing and how much you're committing to. Which, coming from either me or you right now, Sam, is a bit crazy, isn't it, really? Because we're both going a bit mental trying to get everything behind the website up and running.
24/7.
Same for Spud as well. He's trying to get Chilcon going as well. But don't do too much. Try and do other stuff. Fresh air, that's a good one. Get on a bike or something like that. Enjoy some fresh air. Get away from the painting desk. But other than that, I think you just have to judge, am I still enjoying this? And if you get to the point where you go, honestly, I'm not enjoying this, then walk away from the desk for a bit. Or you know what, just switch it up a bit. It's a big hobby. So if you've just buried yourself in painting, just stop painting and play a few games and do a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks where you just game. And alternatively, if you're just not having any fun in the games, sit down and paint a new army. So it's pretty broad, isn't it? For me, one of my big ones is if everything goes to hell, I'll just go into the bits box and knock something together. Because not to go too far into my next answer, but conversions, I love doing that stuff. Love hacking a model together.
That's good stuff. I think the big one, I'll do mine next actually, in terms of balancing it with other commitments as well, because it is quite difficult, because this Wargamer Online is my job at the moment. For the past year I've been doing this full time, and it's not like a 8-hour a day job, it's constant. And especially in the last few months it's become even more of a juggle to try and get stuff done for the website, videos up on YouTube, doing all this community stuff, and actually having the time to paint everything, do the tutorials, do the editing, do Rachel's armies, and then have time to actually enjoy doing my own hobby at the end of all of that is quite difficult. And when I was working at the shop, it was hobby related, and that did drain quite a bit, because obviously you're doing your hobby all day long, you don't necessarily have as much love for it as you did when you first started, so it is difficult to keep the hobby mojo. But I think just getting time to balance it with other commitments, like me and Rachel, we spend at least an hour to 2 hours a night, not much, but we'll make sure we spend some time watching TV, which is one thing. I'll take the dog, make sure that's in the daily routine, take the dog out, so that's some fresh air, get tea sorted for when Rachel comes home. There's things that I try and do so I can break it up. So in terms of balancing the hobby with my other commitments, which are pretty much chores and jobs, other than spending time with Rachel, it is pretty much having a schedule for me, and then making sure that like at weekends I do something other than hobby, and schedule in time for that to make sure that I'm not doing it like all the time pretty much. So that's how I balance everything. It's not easy, but it's not that difficult either. Spud, how about you? Because you've got a really testing time at the moment with this Chilcon, which we'll go through again. You've got a lot of work for that.
Yeah, I kind of, like a few months ago, I kind of just had a massive cull of everything, and I got rid of loads of my stuff because it was just sat, and I was never going to play it or use it or paint it. So I just got rid of it all. I didn't get rid of everything. But I know, like, what I was doing is every week I was putting like at least 2 videos out a week, and I have a full-time job on top of that. And so it was just really hard, and I was buying stuff and pushing myself to paint stuff when I didn't really want to anymore. Like, I want to go out, or I did go out, but I was kind of planning around it.
Yeah.
So it was just like really strange. And And obviously, I did that for quite a few months, like with Space Marine Sunday, like pushing myself all the time to do it. So it was good because I was getting stuff painted and I was getting stuff done and I was getting content out. But then, like, I just realised that it'd like taken over my life totally. So I like wasn't going out, like, see other people and my friends and stuff. So it just kind of like caught up with me. And then, like, now I just decided, like, I've come back on YouTube a little bit more now as well. But I just mainly just do like live videos. I'll just like upload it straight from my phone. And it's just time all the like you guys said, it's like well over 12 hours a day that you do. It's like it's like editing and uploading stuff just takes so long.
Yeah.
And then now I go to gym on the morning, so I do have time on the night time. But by the time I get home, I either want to like read or want to watch some, like, obviously Netflix or Wargamer online when I get home. So it's just like I've got to try and get it all in. And it's just kind of hard sometimes. I just want to get home and just lay down sometimes, like go to sleep at 6. So it is very hard to juggle it all. I reckon I try to get it once a week now when I either, like what Phil said, I ever build something, paint something. I rarely play because there's only Kings of War that I like to play, like in a tournament scene. Rest of it, I just don't think my brain could handle it. And then my mates, obviously, it's when we're all free. So it's quite hard. It's very hard, I think, to like juggle it all together.
It is difficult to organise a lot of the events that you want to do or get the same days. I think clubs are quite another way that you can do it a bit easier. Like if you've got a local club you can go to, you can organise a day or 2 days a week where you can meet up and do hobby, and then the rest of the week you can do something different. But yeah, it is difficult. Kablams has just joined us. Ahoy, ahoy, I'm late. Your model went up, mate. You'll have to go back and watch that one.
Sam as well, we've got a question.
Yes,
for
yes,
the stream.
we'll
We'll
answer
get
that
back to that. Yeah, we'll cover it.
We'll get through Rachel's. How does she? I mean, it must be difficult, Rachel,
It's
balancing
tough.
all of this hobby with
I know.
real life. How do you do it?
I don't know. There's just not enough time in the day. Like, seriously.
For anybody who
that was
doesn't
the wrong
know,
time to take a drink, wasn't it? That was the wrong time to take a drink.
for anybody who doesn't know, Rachel plays the game. She's laughed the headphone out of her ear.
I know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
She finds it this funny that I'm trying to juggle all of this.
I did feel a little bit bad when you said paint. Rachel's so fun on me.
Rachel
No,
watches
just a little
Suits. She watches Suits and Boston Legal and other sort of TV series while I'm painting the Seraphon. That's how she balances hobby with everything else.
Yeah.
But no, you
It's
do
really
try
tough watching you paint. It's difficult, Sam.
I need
up a sweat.
Yeah, I need someone like that. But the other way, I need a girl that can just like paint my stuff as I watch mine. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, looks great, honey. Looks amazing.
To be fair though,
what I like about Rachel's Seraphim was, I actually did a bunch of airbrush work, which got a whole bunch of Seraphim like 2/3 of the way painted. And Rachel kind of looked at it and just went, yeah, I don't really want to field those units though. I want to field a bunch of units that are still in a box and on sprue. All right, okay. Yeah, we'll just build all that then and start again.
And then pretty much after you painted it, I was like, oh, here's a cool colour scheme.
Yeah.
I think there might be some child labourers in China that get treated better than me and Phil when it comes to doing this army building.
I'm not that bad. And in my defence, I did come and watch you and Jack play a game the other day. That was hobby related.
Yeah, that's true. That was a good game, actually. That was Nurgle versus Iron Jaws, wasn't it?
I know, I battered him, and then he turned it around and absolutely destroyed everything I had on the last turn, other than my boars. So, it turned around, but it was a good fight.
I've seen that quite often in Age of Sigmar, more so than 40k. I think usually halfway through a 40k game, you kind of see the way the wind is blowing, don't you? But Age of Sigmar, I've seen a few turnarounds. it's interesting how it can kind of fall over the other way.
You just should never quit on Age of Sigmar. I mean, today we won't go into it because we'll probably edit that battle report and put it up on Saturday potentially, so people can see how Eldar fight Tyranids. It'll be interesting. Anyway, that's that done. Let's go on to the question that has been asked by Full Metal Jacket. So I've got a question for the chat and feed. What does everybody want to see from the next 40k major narrative campaign? More Primarchs? Question mark. And now, I think we pretty much seen. I mean, the way that the direction is going, it's going to be, for me, Chaos obviously getting into Terror and the whole of the Imperium fighting back and doing another Great Crusade. And I think we're going to see a lot more Prime. Go on, Spud.
I was voting yes.
Oh, I thought you were like, me. We're going to see more Primarchs, and I think you're going to see a lot of really cool characters, and to go alongside all of that, some amazing models and some sculpts. But in particular, I don't care what they do with the story. Whatever they do with it, it's going to be good, and we're going to get new models, and the models are going to be beautiful, and I'm going to have new stuff to paint. So for me, I don't care what happens in the story. The Imperium can get run over by Chaos. Chaos could get wiped out, and a new faction can rise up. Not really too fussed, as long as there's new shiny stuff.
Abaddon's got to die. Like, if he doesn't somehow win this battle, right? The gods are going to be so upset. They've given 13 chances. They're going to sit him down and go, right, Abaddon, right? They've given 12 chances and you've messed this one up again, right? We're going to have to let you go. We're going to have to let you go. Find somewhere else. We'll give you a good recommend. What did he call it? Like a good referral?
Reference, yeah.
A good reference. We'll give you a good reference, Abaddon. But you'll have to hand back the gauntlet and Drachni as well.
He'll join the Tau. He'll try his luck there. The Tau Empire take everyone, even Abaddon or Abaddon.
I think we should do a little competition on the website, Sam. We'll do a model giveaway to the best Abaddon reference submitted between now and next week on the Facebook page.
Best reference?
Yeah, so everybody write a reference for Abaddon.
So we can get a new job.
He's a great starter.
Yeah. He's always on time. Yeah.
He tries really hard.
He tries really hard.
Work commitment is 100%.
Yeah.
You know, you do those graphs when you're in work and you've got ability and what was the other one? Ability and commitment or something, and you've got to put yourself in the grid where you think you are. I think I could potentially do this, but I can't be bothered. And you stick yourself down in like A1. We should do one of those for him as well.
He just doesn't come across as a finisher completer, though, does he? That's the thing. It's just he just doesn't quite get there.
We'll call him
Arthur.
Where do you think the place is going then? Where do you think the story is going? Or where do you want it to go, Phil?
Oh, me? Well, yeah, more Primarchs. That would be nice, I think. I've kind of accepted that escalation now. I think seeing some of the Primarchs would be good. I mean, primarily as an Eldar player, I've seen some great stuff there. So I'm happy with what I've got. I've got a new god, so I don't really want anything from there. I think seeing some of the more Primarchs and Primarch demons, I just don't want them to completely dominate the game. So that whole point where they show up to every battle. It's like, well, they can't be everywhere. So just let's hope it doesn't turn into dominating the game too much. But given how powerful Guilliman is, I think we're going to see him on quite a few tabletops, aren't we?
Yeah. What army have you got? 3 Gullimans.
But this one's converted to look like Dawn, so it's okay.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. I'd like to see Tyranids get the love. So maybe if could we see some of these threats outside of Chaos start to come back in, and something happen? There was kind of some hints in the early books, wasn't there? Talking about the Gene Stealer cult had been found on Terra. I'd love to see a Gene Stealer cult and a High Fleet tendril heading directly towards the heart of Terra.
Or come out
just in the middle of all this madness going on with Chaos.
Yeah.
Just
they're coming to steal shit.
In the stages that an invasion happens as well. So you have all your lictors and all that sort of stuff sneaking in, and then you have waves and waves and waves, and then the big stuff comes down at the end and slaps the Emperor in the face. That would be awesome. And I think some of those You know, the Dark Elder. Was it Gathering Storm 1 or 2 where you had the mutated or the Tyranids that had been tested on and put into the gladiator pits? Was that Gathering Storm 2?
No, that was Valid. Well, okay, they were stolen from Valador, so that was a campaign book building up to it. Warzone Valador, wasn't it? Where the Eldar tried to stop two High Fleets meeting because the Farseers had worked out they'd create like super Chuck Norris Tyranids, and they managed to stop them sort of combining. But the Dark Eldar just stole a few and took them back to Commorragh and bred them anyway. So there are some supposedly super Tyranids in Commorragh, and of course what happens in the Gathering Storm then is a big fracture and a whole bunch of nonsense going wrong there. So they could have escaped back out. Yeah, you could see some super Tyranids up against super Marines.
Well, Kablams has just said Warhammer TV guys pretty much confirmed an unbeaten Tyranid hive is headed for Terra, didn't they? So I haven't seen a lot of updates on the Warhammer TV page yet, but if they've confirmed that, then that's awesome, and we're going to see a lot of new stuff coming out. I think
that will be great.
Some new rules I think they need, and some new formations. It would be nice to see some stuff that can compete on the same level as Guilliman and the other nasty formations we've got out there.
Couldn't one of the missing legions come back as well?
Yeah, that'll be amazing.
It's like, who will they fight for? Are they going to be good or bad?
Or neither. Maybe they got their own agenda.
Yeah. Might have Tau in the ranks. There might just be like a multitude of different races. That was a massive word for a Tuesday.
A multitude, yeah.
Could tell I've been at work today.
So proud.
It could it could be like a multitude of like loads of different races together. Like one of those stolen Chuck Norris Tyranids, Space Marines, Chaos, Tau. Like a mercenary.
Just a proper band of mercenaries with the Tau Empire that just stroll up on one ship. What have we got there? We got a Lost Primarch. He joined us ages ago, mate.
Oh yeah, because there were two Lost Primarchs with them as well. But they could do anything they want to.
Yeah. Full Metal Jacket, all 50 factions. Yeah. So Tau Empire, that's the way to go. I think I'm talking myself into a Tau army.
Don't
do that.
Don't do... More money. Rach, are you fussed about the story?
It's helpful I knew what was going on. You talked to me about little bits and bobs about people that killed people for stuff and things.
I'm glad you said. I thought you were going to say you told me about some little men that did something on a planet somewhere, but that was a little bit better. Well done. I drone on for quite a bit, don't I? So you listen to what you can and you switch off to the rest. But do you know what? You listen to all of the heresy stuff, haven't you? You've caught up with that. You know generally what's going on with the Primarchs.
I know there were some guys that killed some good guys who were awesome, and
you were doing so well. You were doing so well.
They thought the Emperor was a god, and they thought the Emperor was a god, and these other guys were like, the Emperor's blatantly not a god, and they killed these guys that thought he was a god.
The Emperor said he was not a god. He said not to worship me like a god, and then punished the main worshippers for worshipping him as a god. And then they were like, well, you're obviously not a god, we're going to go and find some others. Well, you got the general gist of that, so that's cool. That's fine.
Yeah, makes sense sometimes.
It does make sense.
That reminds me of the time I went to see The Fellowship of the Ring with my wife and her cousin, and as we walked out the movie at the end, her cousin turned to my wife and said, well, they never found the ring, did they? I've been carrying it throughout the whole movie. What film have you been watching?
Did you drive home without them? Because that's what I would have done.
But while we're on to films, though, I was going to films. Like when I got taken to watch Twilight, but I didn't see the first or I don't even know which film it was. It wasn't the first one, so I had to just turn up, sit there, watch it, and went, right, so let's get this right. Obviously, I'm a Twilight master right now. So we've got vampires, that's sparkly. I don't really get that, but we'll go with it. We've got giant wolf people. Excellent, they were awesome. I just wanted them to there were no blood. It was a bit boring, but anyway. But they were there. They looked cool. And then this woman in the middle that can't decide if she loves the vampire, but she loves the werewolf, so she just gets off with them both. And in other words, she just.
That sums up the films.
And that's Twilight for you.
You know what? You told me all of that. I still don't know which one you went to see.
There were giant wolves in it. I don't know.
You basically described every single one of them.
Yeah.
Phil watched them all. I'd enjoyed them all.
It definitely wasn't the first one, because I remember like me saying, "Well, I've not seen the first one," like trying to get out of it. Oh, well, I've not seen the first one. It'll just spoil everything. I can't see this one. And then she's like, "I'll be fine. You'll understand." And I did. And I was like, "Oh."
Back to Wargaming. 13th Company and Russ, maybe. That would be cool, wouldn't it? If we saw Russ come back
With a
out
beard.
of chaos,
With a massive
crazy
beard.
angry, really annoyed, just going on a rampage. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, starting a
He's
fight
gonna be
with
upset.
Cypher and some Dark Angels and whoever else. That'd be good. We've also got Lord Tattoo has joined us. Hello everyone. Hello Lord Tattoo. Without a clue, Wargaming. There are rumours of 2 Primarchs switching sides.
Ooh.
Interesting. I mean, if you were going to guess, which Primarch would you think would go from loyal to traitor?
Ooh.
I'd probably say the Lion,
Didn't wanna
because
know.
he might
Lion.
actually be. It might be traitor all along, and that might be the whole Fallen thing. They might end up. Yeah.
Yeah, but wouldn't that almost be too obvious? That's what you kind of expect. I'd like to see Alfarius, who has always been a bit on the fence with all of this stuff anyway, hasn't he? Alfarius suddenly side with the Emperor.
Oh yeah.
That'd be
Actually, you could see that. You could see that happening.
Yeah.
Maybe they will
Just
go
the-
obvious. Maybe it will be Lion switching to traitor and Alfaria switching to loyalist, and they'll go, yeah, there we go. We've kind of planted the seeds.
Because I'm not huge on Traitor Marines, but do the Alpha Legions feature much in the Traitor Marines in 40k?
Oh, 40k,
I mean,
not sure. 30k,
so
they're
obviously,
all through
I'm
it.
thinking you've got the Noise Marines, you've got the Nurgle guys, you've got the Corn guys. I don't think you kind of get that, do you? Which would be interesting.
They're
Maybe
not
that's why
aligned
they'll
to it.
focus on them next. Yeah.
They don't really ally themselves to a main god of chaos, do they? Like some of the others.
Sorry, I've just seen the Full Metal Jacket says Angron takes an Imperial Fist anger management course, basically.
Go straight.
Oh, I feel terrible. I realise I've got to apologise to a bunch of people. It's like stamping round the currency. I'm very
Taking
sorry
5 deep
about my
breaths. He'll have to come and see Mr. Tate. It's like, so you can count 5, you can count 10, you can count down, walk away, you can even get a drink, And then they're all calm down. Make sure you take your jumper off as well if you start getting a bit angry. Don't tell the teacher to F off straight away. Just like maybe wait like 5 seconds, then say it.
Well done, Spud. Well done. That was the polite version as well.
Hey, what? You see, I'm good. I'm good. I'm on it. You see.
White scars. White scars are going to go
I
feral.
don't want White Scars to go traitor. I actually really like the idea of them being proper loyal, and the fact that nobody knows what they're like. They pride themselves on not revealing too much about themselves, do they?
No.
Like the other Primarchs are all, they know about all the others. Like Mortarion smells and Angron's angry and Fulgrim fancies himself, but with the Khan, they're just like, yeah, okay, I don't actually know anything about him, and I quite like that. And I like the idea that he didn't feature too much in 30k compared to a lot of the other stuff, a lot of the other legions, because he was like off fighting orcs and got delayed and things. So I think he would be one that could come back into 40k and they could make a much bigger deal out of, and they could be a big part of saving the Imperium. I think if they go traitor, I'll be disappointed, but I wouldn't be too upset because he gets some new White Scars. That's from Mr. Craggham Gaming. Don't say that. Don't say White Scars will go traitor.
How about Blood Angels? Because they're like vampire crazy people, aren't they? Like, I've never liked them, so it'd be pretty cool if they went to bad guys. Or they just totally wiped them out. Like something happens with Abaddon. That's what happens. Abaddon fails, goes to Blood Angels. They all just kill each other, and there's none of either.
Because they don't want him in charge.
Yeah, don't want to be in charge, so they all just stop and done.
It's like we've reviewed your reference and we don't think you're right for us.
You've not got enough experience. There's always a letdown in it. Letdown.
Hestan will return and
Salamanders.
salamanders will kick backside, yes. There's quite a lot. They can do tons with it. So
Yeah.
there's quite a big scope for that. Shall we go on to another question? We've got a couple more
Go
we
on
can do. We have... let's just do it in the next one. So what are your top 3 parts or sections or favourite bits to wargaming? So it could be painting, modelling, converting, gaming, blah 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 blah. We'll start with Rachel, because she's, again, Rachel.
Painting, modelling, converting, all of them. Yeah, top 3, definitely.
Difficult to choose.
It is. It's tough. I can't say I've got a favourite between those 3. They're all up there, really.
There's more than 3 parts to the hobby, just so you're aware. I know you only do one of them.
No,
Or 2.
okay, so more seriously. Okay, so
Seriously, Rachel.
probably pay attention. I can win this. I probably need to put some context to that.
No, leave it at that.
Yeah, just let people wonder. Okay, so probably gaming and tournaments. Well, I've never actually done a tournament, but I think I would love it because I'm like super competitive when it comes to that sort of thing. And I'm gonna like throw a spanner in the works and go with like the social side. Because when we used to go to the shop, and I think it was like every Friday or something, we'd go to the shop and we'd play games. And actually that was quite nice, just chilling out. We'd get takeaway, we'd play a game, and it was good fun.
Was it
So
the
I'd say
takeaway, though, that enhanced
Could
that?
have been the food. Could have been like a bam.
You can't base the hobby on takeaway.
The best part of the hobby is pizza.
Pizza and beer.
All of it. But no, I think actually, to be honest, if I went to a tournament, I probably would love it. So I'd say sort of tournament games and yeah, the social side.
Well, we'll get your armies painted, and then you can go to all the tournaments you want.
We'll get
It's a joint effort. It's not me. It's me and Phil. And you know what? Pink was writing up a list for her to use in 30k. Now, Rachel normally does her own lists, but because she has no idea about 30k, Pink was involved last night. Like, I texted him saying, I don't have a clue. I've got these models. Can you just make a list for her? And then I'll get them built and painted. And then, actually, you know what? Mike hasn't actually come onto the channel yet, but Mike will be joining us with like battle reports and painting tutorials. And I was talking to Mike last night, and he's now going to start painting Rachel's custodians for 30k. She's got 3 people involved with painting her armies and people doing her lists. And this is also she can play. You've got the best hobby in the world, Rachel. You can just play games.
You must be able to paint custodians, though. Literally, stop spray paint.
But I can't even paint my nails, okay?
It's a spray can, right? Just send it airspray. All over the models, right? Then get your model. Sam will get you a pot of wash. Done.
That's it.
That's it. That's custodians done.
In fairness, though, Rachel, you've not mentioned it, and Sam said you've got somebody else who is 30k, but you do like this building, because I know you do.
I do love it,
Because you sit there flipping through the book looking for the slightest opportunity to make it even more evil.
To break the game,
Yeah.
And
I do love it. As soon as I get like really, so like Sigmar, for example, I know how to play it. So
Yeah.
It's all about then building the list, playing the game, tweaking the list, playing another game, tweaking the list, playing the game, and I'll just keep doing that over and over, which is why I think I'll probably love tournaments.
And we'll keep painting models.
Yeah, Sam, I need to put this into my list now, so can you just paint some up for me, just casually? But 30k and 40k, I still need to learn the rules, but as soon as I do, then yeah, I'll probably be all over the list, to be fair.
Yeah.
And the game,
And the magic phase is quite a big one. I think as part of the hobby, the magic phase is mainly your hobby, isn't it? We spent, I think, half an hour. In 8th edition fantasy, magic phases took half an hour because you'd go through every spell.
Yeah, I'd like break the rules as well, so I'd have which lore I wanted and be able to like choose which spells I wanted as well, so I could just go from there. It was awesome.
It was fun for you.
I can see the need for a painting tutorial for custodians. It appears to be spray gold and agrax, according to Craig.
Well, they were the instructions from Mike. Mike said, "Can you spray them gold and give me the rest of the paints, and I'll paint them?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's 2 paints sorted. There you go." Do you need a brush, or are you just going to drip it onto the model? Because that's pretty much what you need to do. Right. Favourite 3 parts of the hobby, Spud?
Oh, okay. I like building. So my third one would be probably like building. The building part of the hobby I enjoy the most because I just say I can make creations. I don't like having the same as anyone else either. I'm quite like OCD about that. I don't like. Yeah, I don't like really people saying you've got to take this and you've got to take that and it's got to look like this. It really upsets me. To be honest, like when I did my Guild Ball team and someone literally, it's that I didn't know nothing about it. Finished my team, I said, can't use that list. I was just like, just please leave me alone. It's my first post. I clearly said it. Like I'm not probably going to go to any tournaments, but anyway, so that's my building stuff is really cool. I enjoy doing that. Number 2. It's probably like tournaments, especially after 6 cans of Polish beer. They're like the best thing in the world. I don't think I could go to a competitive one person. I just couldn't do it. My brain just can't function properly with stuff like that. Like I'm too nice as well. We're just like literally at one point at one tournament, I just walked off and just went and wandered off, and I'm like, yeah, just do what you want. They couldn't have done anything whatsoever. I forget about the mission, everything. So tournaments definitely pretty good. And then same as Rachel, like, the community side of it's like mind blowing. I love it so much. Yeah. Like YouTube and meeting like all you guys, like just meeting new people all the time and just chilling and chatting.
Yeah, it's quite a big part of the hobby. I think that's the one thing that keeps it going actually for me. I think if I was just painting and modelling, it would be fun, but without having a group to join in games and do painting competitions and just to show off what you've been doing and to chat about what you can do, without that I think it probably wouldn't last as long as it does, and that's why I think the community is such a big part of the hobby.
I would have said like over 50%, if not a lot more, probably a lot higher than that, are my friends, even in my real friends.
Yeah.
I like Wargamer related now.
Yeah.
I've only got like my rugby mates, like a few people from school, from my old school, not work school, and then the rest of them are just hobby Wargamer people.
Yeah, definitely.
I think not a lot of our friends are from Warhammer, aren't they, Sam? Like Pink and Phil.
Yeah, if they don't play Warhammer, we're not friends with them.
That's what I do. I walk outside.
Otherwise.
Yeah, I walk outside and look at people. Yeah, he don't play Warhammer.
I think it's this, you have you get friends with what you associate with, don't you? Like me and Rach go around to Phil's pretty much every week. We pretty much live there at the minute, but we don't always play Warhammer, do we? We'll sit and we'll watch films, or we'll go out for a coffee, or we'll do something. And although we've got so many friends in the area that we do the hobby with, the rest of the time isn't spent hobby. I think we spend more time doing other stuff than actually doing Warhammer or painting or whatever. It's just the thing that's connected us all, which I think is quite nice. Is that Khaleesi whining, Rachel?
Yeah, hold on, I'm going to get that out.
She's so annoying. She's like, no, you're online, but a little bit of whining. Okay, I'll do my... Do you want to do your 3 parts, Phil?
No, you go, Sam. That's cool.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I was trying to think of my 3 favourites.
I'll go. If you've not thought of it yet, Sam, do you want me to go?
No, they're quite... Okay, I've got 4. Because I can't even do my own questions.
The brief was free.
Yeah, I don't care. So, I have... probably buying stuff. I've said this before, but actually buying things is a really big part of the hobby for me, because I just enjoy I don't know what it is. You know, you get those, what is it called? You know, when you eat at McDonald's and you feel good. You know, you feel good.
Endorphins.
Endorphins, yeah. You know, I get that when I buy Warhammer or models or even paint. If I buy a paint, I'm really happy. So I enjoy buying. That's one good part of the hobby for me. Another bit that I actually really enjoy doing is converting stuff, same as you, Spud. And I like to have unique models, and I like chopping things up to the point where I'll still get like a forger model and chop his leg off just so he's different to somebody else's. And I might have ruined it, but at least he's different. So converting's the other bit. And then painting. Obviously, I do a lot of painting. I don't actually necessarily enjoy the painting process, but I enjoy the end result. I enjoy finishing something and then looking at it and realising that I've done it and being happy with it. So the actual process is filled with a lot of swearing and being moody. And then when I've finished, it's a bit better. And then the biggest one, again, is the community side of things. And I think that's the thing that links it all together. So they're the 4 parts of the hobby for me. Phil.
That last bit there, you pretty much described your life there, didn't it? It's like being angry, being a bit moody, and then it's all right at the end.
Every day for me, that's the cycle of Sam.
That's the cycle.
The cycle.
We've got Lord Tattoo saying plastic syndrome. McGregor was saying it looks like you're addicted, basically. I think that's what is going
There's
on
worse
there.
things to be addicted to.
Elstonation, buying models as well. Went too far last year.
But he's
Too
got
many
that
pennies
new,
on models.
He's got New Year's resolution, hasn't he, where he's not allowed to buy anything. He's allowed to trade stuff, but he's not actually allowed to buy anything. Till salute, yeah. And then he's just going to spend everything he's got.
Yeah.
Right,
Everything's gone. He just saved all the money to blow about 2
The house is now sold, but I've got loads of models.
Yeah.
So he's traded everything away, but he's saving for Salute, is he? And then he's in there.
Yeah, so he trades. So it obviously paint stuff as well. So the stuff that he's got, he'll paint and then kind of trade it. So then to somebody, so then they can give him new models to paint and so.
Nice.
One way of managing it, though.
Yeah, you can kind of self-fund the hobby once you've built a backlog of grey up, can't you? You can just paint, sell on, and swap.
There we go. Lord Tattoo, we'll just go before you start talking, Phil. You know we always bully you about your internet. Phil sounds like a robot.
Screenshot.
We've also got Tabletop Minions, who has awesome sound quality, which me and Phil have remarked about a few times. I seem to have too big of a collection in the basement as well. Thank you for joining us, Tabletop Minions.
Oh yeah, by far the best sound quality on the internet.
The best sound and graphics quality on YouTube.
So do I really sound like a robot, or
it's
is
fine,
he just
go for it. We got used to it, Robot Phil.
Fun? I give up.
The thing is, Tabletop Minions actually sounds like that in real life. Like I met him at Adepticon, and it actually sounds like that in your ears. It's like you're wearing headphones when you're with him. It's amazing.
Such a soothing voice.
Yeah. That's what it is. Oh, they only said they wanted me to put him to bed, but that would be really strange.
I need to go to sleep. I'm just going to put that on. That's so soothing.
Yeah. I'm not in a bad way.
No.
So for me, conversions number 1, gaming number 2, and and painting probably in the 3rd place, which is good because I'll only game with painted models, so it's a good job I enjoy the gaming more than the painting, because that's the bit that motivates me to get armies painted. Basically, I like, I'll go through the first half of the painting is always amazing and good fun. So like when I did that 3,000 points of Sylvaneth, the first day was brilliant. It was fantastic. The second day was a bit of a chore, and then the 3rd day they were finished and I was gaming, and it was like, yeah. So it kind of got me through it, knowing we'd get to a point where they're on the table, and just really, really happy. So I'm motivated by that, and I do enjoy the gaming. But the thing I go back to when times are hard is, in terms of motivation, is the modelling and the sculpting. I've got 2 Wraithlord conversions, which I keep dipping in and out of at the moment, and one is a Swooping Hawk Wraithlord, and the other one is a Warp Spider Wraithlord.
Yeah.
I just keep dipping in and out of those versions, and that keeps me going as well.
They've been they're on the Eldar Facebook page, aren't they? They've been up there a few times. They're extremely insane conversions. They're just Wraithlords in all of the different aspect conversions, and you've done the Striking Scorpion one. Is it Dark Creeper?
Dark Reaper,
Yeah.
Dire Avenger, and I've done the Spirit Seer one, which it's based on the Forge World one, but I kind of messed around with it a little bit to make it more sort of seery. But not a lot actually. That was a minor conversion compared to say the Dark Reaper one was quite a lot of work.
Yeah.
Probably the most out of all three actually. Thinking about it, the Dark Reaper, because I completely resculpted the legs and gave it like 70s flares, which just look amazing.
You have to get the pictures up on the Facebook page.
I will do. Yeah.
Stick them on
I'll
the
have to do
community
that
page.
actually. I'll drop some on.
Yes. Okay. Brilliant. We've got time, I think, for one last question. So we'll go over fairly quickly on what Age of Sigmar, because we've not talked about Age of Sigmar, and we all love that. What Age of Sigmar faction do you want to be released next? And we'll start with... Who do we start with? We'll start with...
Not Spud, he looks like
I'm going to say, I'm going to say that.
Right, okay.
I've just got... So I now feel like Rachel some of the other questions.
Rachel, you could do this one then.
Can I say Seraphon just because it would make all of you cry?
No, the
Imagine
next
that.
faction. The next faction. We're not repainting another Seraphon army.
Oh, like a new faction.
Yeah, what do you want to be released?
Entirely new, so not done before.
Could be new, or it could be one of the older 8th edition armies that you want them to redo for Sigmar.
I'm alright now then, yeah.
Oh, sorry, we'll clarify in future, because that's confusing with me.
Okay. Well, I guess because when I was in 8th edition, I played High Elf, so it'd be quite cool to see what they could do with those guys.
Yeah.
Essentially, more dragons, more phoenixes,
More magic.
Phoenix- Yeah, more magic. Everyone loves magic.
More Phoenix Guard.
Yeah, I did love the Phoenix Guards, to be fair. They were awesome. And they could do them with, wings and things, just because. But yeah, no, I think for me, it probably would be, it'd be cool to see High Elves redone, just because they, looked really pretty. And now with all the new casting and stuff that they all do, then, like the Warhammer do, they bring out some amazing models. It'd be cool to see what they could do with High Elves.
Because you're never normally that bothered, are you, about models? But things with
Not
wings.
normally, yeah, but like the phoenixes and those. Oh, what were they? We looked at them the last time I was on the chat. The things where they were like people sat on griffin-y looking things. What were
That
they?
was the
Paladors.
Paladors, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, like they look really cool. So yeah, more stuff like that. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, normally I'm like, I don't care what it looks like as long as it can shoot magic and kill things.
We've played
it's fine.
games with coffee cups before, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm like
Much to
Staples.
my disgust.
I'm gonna proxy.
When we were trying out the
Is it about
Seraphon.
the right size?
It was the Seraphon, wasn't it? Like you needed a Bastillodon to put down,
Oh,
so
God,
you put
did we
down...
use like a case that you put like business cards in and things like that as like a bastard.
And I'm sitting there with my Iron Jaw fully painted army, which I've slaved over because I refuse to play a game without painted armies. And she puts down a box as a Bastillodon, and I'm just like, why? Why do I even bother? Like, we may as well not.
You've got line of sight. It's fine.
You've got line of sight.
Did you film that battle report?
I think we should.
I wish we would have.
People need
That'd
an
be so
insight.
sick. Yeah, it'd be so good. That it'd be well good. But like, you could do like an army overview of all the iron jaws. You're like, that looks proper sick. And then as you can see, I just do like an ultimate swirl. And it's just literally
It's like a
condiment.
stapler, a box.
Yeah. Condiment.
You know
Yeah,
what?
salt. I'm a high elf lord.
We've been releasing these showcase armies, haven't we? Like the Iron Jaws and the Word Bearers. We'll do Rachel's showcase army, and it will be just a spinny video with like a spoon jammed into something, just spinning around
That'd be amazing.
Each slices.
with the name underneath it, what it's supposed to be. Phoenix. That's not a phoenix.
Because the best part is because you can't tell what it is, you actually forget what you're fighting against.
Yeah.
And I'm like, by the way, they've got shields.
Yeah. Rachel, do you understand why people don't like playing against proxy armies now? Because you don't know what you're fighting against. When something turns up and you go, oh yeah, by the way, that's a Carnosaur, and I'm like, well, there was 10 pieces of toilet roll containers there. Rubbish. Right. Spud, are you good for what you're looking forward to? Yeah? Let's go with you.
So I'm going to say what else, but I've just realised they've already brought them back out, so never mind.
They
I'm going to go with
Kind of.
Kislev. I liked Kislev. I know they were never like a major army, but they had bears.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Kislev. Just because I'd love GW to bring some like
Space
cavalry models. Yeah, but on bears, it was so sick that like I just want bears everywhere. Like no models, like other models on foot. Even if we had horses or bears.
Yeah.
That
I think
sounds
that would
amazing.
suit the new aesthetic of AIS, though, wouldn't it? You know, like bear riders and things like that, and sort of werebears and all that amongst it.
It'd be well got a giant bear, just like the bear. That's just like obviously because with GW models are like expand things huge. It was like just a massive bear. Yes, please. Or I'm well excited. I hope they're watching.
I hope you're watching. Bring me my bears. It is the one thing that Games Workshop have never had, because I was looking for bears at first, and when I only did GW models, there was nothing other than the Kislev's styled stuff. So it was difficult to get. It's very difficult to buy them now because they're so expensive. So if they re-released them in plastic in really super scoops, that would be pretty good. I think they'd make a lot of money off them again. Awesome. Okay, Phil, what are you looking forward to?
Age of Sigmar.
So I know Age of Sigmar isn't your major draw, but I think if you had the right army, it would be.
Yeah, maybe goblins. You know, in whatever form.
You've got goblins.
I know, but again, there's some cool models in there, but I don't think they'd need a complete overhaul, but some new units into
plastic squigs.
Yeah, plastic squigs and funny little squid creatures and all sorts of weird goblins that would just be a little bit more dynamic than a lot of the guys. You know, a lot of the old 8th edition armies, not all of them, but you know, the rank and file are stood quite still because to a degree they had to design them so they could be put into rank and file, and obviously Sigmar doesn't need that now, so each model can be posed a bit more dynamic, couldn't it, really? So maybe just going back into the Goblin faction and just coming up with some fun stuff, some weird creatures based on squigs, you know, like the squig off in 40k and things like that. Just kind of go that direction with it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it'd be cool.
We've got Frost and Fists in the chat now as well. Just proxy in the bears. I think I'm going to ban the word proxy.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's what I can do if I ever turned up. I ain't got an Age of Sigmar. I mean, just be like, here's my lord, here's my Kislev lord, and here's the unit of bear riders.
This is my cavalry coming in.
Yeah, these are my unit of bear riders. My other unit of bear riders.
That's awesome, by the way. That's amazing.
Brilliant.
So yeah, that's what I'd like.
I think mine. I'm waiting for humans for my faction. It would have been between dark elves or humans, but I think humans for me. The only reason I've never bothered with them in the past is I didn't like the frilly pajamas that they were all wearing.
Frilly pajamas.
You know what I mean, though. They're like, pajamas. They're all frilly. They're a bit bright coloured, and I'm kind of glad they bombed the old world in a way just to get rid of those, because I mean, as much as I love 8th edition, don't get me wrong, I loved 8th edition, I loved playing the game, I just didn't like the Empire, the way that they looked. So I'm glad that they've kind of wiped them, because they can do them again and they can do them better. And with the models they're chucking out now, think how amazing they're going to be. We were looking with Silver Tower, Phil, we were looking through some of the models in there, and the human models are the best they've done. Like, without question in it.
I mean, they're all like 9 foot tall, but they're amazing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No pyjamas.
There's no pyjamas. I mean, there was questionable loincloth on the Dark Oath Chieftain.
That's alright.
Yeah. Onesies are cool. Onesies are cool these days.
No, okay. If they did humans in onesies, I'm out.
If I could have
it could be onesie bear suits though, couldn't it?
Oh my god! If they did a onesie for over 6 foot tall people, I would have one of them on right now.
Oh, I've got one. That's a Chewbacca onesie that'd fit you. I'll pop it in the post to you, Spud. It's like a Chewbacca onesie. I love it.
Phil blends in with his beard. When he puts it on, he just looks like fur. You just see two little eyes at the top of it. We don't argue with him because he's Chuck Norris's brother.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
I'm thinking if it's worth, because we're coming to the end of time, really, is it
Yeah.
worth having a little chat on a Chilcon update?
Yes. How are
Nice.
things going, Spud, with Chilcon? And is there anything you would like to shout out about it?
Yeah, I'd check out Wargamer online interview. Ding. For full information.
Yeah.
I don't actually like how I'm reading it on it, but I won't. I was pretending. No, but yeah, all the full details are on there. We've seen more pictures of the resin cast model now. We should have that hopefully in the next day or two. They sent it out Monday,
cool.
so
So
we'll have the real
you're
thing.
You're giving that away to what? The first 50 people that enter?
Yeah,
that
at least first 50 people, yeah.
At least the first 50. But is it also going to be for sale?
Yes, it was for sale and for the first 50.
Right, okay.
In the goodie bags. So we've got like goodie bag. And showing that photograph, right, with me holding the bag and the cup, they're actually like really large. But obviously to me, like the cup actually looks really little, but it's not. It's actually like a normal human-sized mug. And same with the bag. The bag's massive. But obviously to me, it was so weird modelling a bag. I was like, I don't even know how to hold this thing. Like, do I put it on my shoulder? And that's why I look so awkward, because I'm just like, hi.
You were just looking at how many chickens can you fit in this bag?
Yeah. So yeah, you get the bag, you get the mug. I think you get the mug. I better not say that, actually. I'm not sure. You definitely get the model in there. Mantica throwing some stuff in for us, and hopefully some other people were trying to blag. I mean, ask nicely to put things in as well. So yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Awesome stuff.
Cool.
So check the there's a Facebook page for it. There's also chilcon.co.uk. I believe that's the website. And if you want more of the details in our videos on Wargamer Online, you can see the interview that I had with Spud, and he goes through everything. So if you want to know in depth about what's actually going to be there, just check that out. And we're going to be there. I think there's probably going to be at least 6 or 7 of us going up from where we are, just to check things out and see what's going on and take some pictures and some videos of all the stuff that's going on. And hopefully we'll see a lot of other people. There's plenty of people on YouTube that could turn up. It'd be a nice place to meet up and discuss things.
Yeah, we want to try to get like a YouTube panel going, so we have like a few people from different channels, and we'll just do like a chilling Wargamers, but real and beer. So it'd be really strange.
Sounds good on that.
Yeah.
Pizza for Rachel. Is there any pizza?
Yeah. Pizza and beer. What more could it go on?
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Awesome. Okay, we're going to wrap this up then. Thank you to everybody who has joined us live today. There's a lot more of you chatting away, which is brilliant to see. I know it was a bit random. I've said all along we're going to try and do chats on a Wednesday, but because it was a Spud special, we've done it today. But next week we should resume on a Wednesday evening. We're going to aim for 8 o'clock UK time, and we're going to try and keep that going so that you can tune in every Wednesday to see what's going on. If you haven't already joined the Facebook group, join that. It's Wargamer Online Space Community, and somebody will accept you to join. And you can post up pictures of your own hobby progress. You can join in on any of the topics that are on there, and you can suggest topics for our chats, ask any questions, as well as just talk nonsense, really. Do all of that. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, it would be amazing if you could subscribe, and if you could share it to anybody else who you think would be interested. That would be great. And also check out Chilling Wargamers, the Wargamer Vikings channel, and subscribe to that as well. Oosh. Other than that, thank you to everybody who has joined me and Phil today. Rachel, thank you for joining us. We'll try and get some better topics for you next time that you can take part in, like how do you break
There's a
people's
lot of
souls.
40k tonight.
You did.
We'll wait for the week that Rachel comes on, and then we'll just talk about 40k.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay, we rolled with it. We rolled with that.
Thank you, Spud, Wargamer Viking, for joining us. It's been excellent.
No, thank you very much for having me on. Hopefully I can pop on again and
Anytime.
have a chill another time. It'd be really awesome to join you guys. Yes.
Definitely. Thank you for spending your time with us. And thank you, Phil, for putting up with it again. Sorry about bullying you about your internet.
Oh, I love it.
But you do
Thanks,
sound
guys.
like a
Everyone.
robot.
Good fun. And thanks for coming on, Spud. Good to see you, man.
Welcome. It's awesome.
Okay, see you all next week.
Bye.
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 Oh, I can do credits. Check this out.